Hi everyone, today we're going to be going over the sensors that are monitoring your boiler. So that is the Aquasat, coil hot water, the domestic hot water, and the stack sensor. Now, we're going to start on the Aquasat. The Aquasat is basically the temperature of the water in your boiler. The set point that we usually use as a default is 180 degrees. So if it hits below 180, it'll just shoot back up to 180 and a little above. So it has some time before it has to refire. So you see up, down, and then you get into a heat call. You can see a heat call right here, boiler call, Parbent, and that's an extended call. A really good way to confirm that your boiler is fired is that the Aquasat goes up. Now, 220 is a little much. You can expect around boiling, but you can see that this boiler had a reaction to the EMC telling the boiler to fire. This is good. It means that your boiler is firing when we're telling it to, and then it drops down right after we're done. So that's very good. It means your boiler is responding to us. And then again, goes up when we tell the fire, goes down, up, down, up, down. And that should be very well in sync with these blocks right here. Now, CHW. CHW is a coil of water that's heated by the water in your boiler in order to get it to a high enough temperature where it feeds into your domestic hot water and can be cooled by the mixing valve. This will typically follow your Aquasat temperature. So it'll usually go up when the Aquasat goes up, go down when the Aquasat goes down, so on and so forth. Now, the domestic hot water. The domestic hot water should stay more or less in a consistent temperature range. See here, that's not great. You might want to check your mixing valve at that point, but here, it's pretty good. So basically the domestic hot water is fed from the coil, and then a mixing valve will take the temperature of the coil hot water that's being fed to it and mix in some cold water to regulate the temperature and make sure nobody gets scalded. This is not something we directly control. So if your domestic hot water is a little off, you might want to look into your mixing valve. Then we have the stack sensor. Stack sensor is a very clean way to tell when your boiler fires. You can see here when this block goes on, stack sensor goes up. Block goes on, stack sensor goes up. Block goes on, stack sensor goes up, so on and so forth. When you see these, this is usually when your boiler has a pressure sensor in it that turns your boiler off when the pressure gets a little too high, because there is a pressure range where your boiler is working at its most efficient. A common problem that you have and can detect on this screen is a burner failure. So if your Aquastat is ever below, say, if the set point's 180 and it ever gets below, say, 175, 170, it probably means that you experienced a burner failure. And what that looks like is all of these sensors, stack, the CHW and the DHW, will all kind of sync. They'll just sync. They usually end up around 100. And that's usually because you're either out of oil, you're too low on water, there's just a flame light failure. Those are all causes for that. All you need to do is have your super check it out, just reset the boiler, and that should fix it.